Uh, we all know that we rely on the third-party data in day-to-day marketing, and advanced technological marketers really overly rely on the external data providers. And how big is the scale of this over-reliance? It's from 5 to 7 times more third-party data versus the first-party data we have found on the on the sites of our clients during the first audits. That means when the third-party cookies will disappear, it will leave your business crippled and unable to continue marketing. How do you know? And this is something that we would love to avoid, right? Because we cannot afford, you, I, and my clients cannot afford it to lose this amount of data which we are using to the day-by-day campaigns. And I will try to show you how to secure yourself and your business before this tragedy will happen. And there are 3 simple steps. First one is the data audit, which means you will look on your own data, your own tech stack, etc., and try to adjust. The second part is to modify your tech stack and your site, analytics, etc., to adapt for upcoming changes. And the last one is test and learn process and how to do it properly. So let's jump to the data audit part. This is your target group. We all trying to reach someone because we are working in the marketing industry. So we are trying to convince people to buy simple stuff from our clients or something else, or make them make some sort of a desired action. And this is your target group. We know about them about that much, and this is this is the part of the whole target group. And this we store in a CRM. On top of that, we could add the login site, where user can somehow interact with the brand, order something, or make a complaint at least. On top of that, today there is no brand who could treat itself professionally and be taken serious without application. It's also the next set of the data which you can apply and gain some intel about the user. And lastly, we are taking some partner applications and second-party deals. What does it mean? It means we are going to do some sort of a data storage, and then we are trying to deal with them to show us something more about the user. And what does it mean for you? I would love for you to think about data as a key. I know you've heard that many times before, that data is a key. But in this case, I would love you to take it literally as a key. And what I mean by that. At the beginning, you look at the CRM data. Those are typical information you store in your CRM, right? It lets you know your customer, what they bought, who they are. On top of that, you can add application data. And here you have some sort of additional data about user too. And right now you could connect it by user ID or mail or any other overlapping bit of information. And this is the key to start connecting dots between different ecosystems. Look here. On the login side, you can use mail, right? When it comes to the second-party deals, you can use whatever kind of identificator you have to connect it with your database. And additionally, there is no need to have this direct connection, because sometimes you may have some ID in your CRM, in your application, but then on the login side, there is no such a thing. But second-party provider can expand on given ID and match something and add some sort of a value to what you already know about user. And what's the end goal? The end goal is the one table where you can store all necessary data. This kind of a table, if you have enough different IDs and keys and matches within, it's absolutely change-proof, because to disappear from this kind of a table, user would need to change phone, mail, and almost all electronic devices and start the new digital life to disappear. So if you can get a grasp on vast amount of data, it's great for you, because that means this user will stay with you how long you would like him to stay. And this can be only done when we simply change the way how we think about tech stack. And what I mean by that is, today we are starting from a web analysis and tag management when we build our tech stack. We start from setting up the proper analytics. It might be GA4, 360, or Pickwick Pro, etc. And then we move to picking up that server, DSP/DMP, and the platforms like social e-commerce and search, where we would like to be serving our ads. Later on, we are moving to some sort of a marketing automation dashboards to a little bit help ourselves with day-to-day work to automate some things, which might be mundane. And then we are approaching to those, I would say, ribbons. I mean, this is something that we're treating on top, like adding clean rooms, data aggregation, analytics, advanced analytics like customer journey or econometrics. Then we are trying to import our data from CRM, but we are treating it as a cherry on top, something that can be done, but it's not necessary. With the upcoming changes, we need to change the way how we think about the tech stack at all, and we need to reorganize it. Like, we need to know that the clean room and the data management platforms like CDPs and CRMs are going to be crucial when it comes to the data activation, because there will be no third-party data we could rely on, right? So we need to have our own stable set of data we could always activate and reach our customers when we need them the most. And to show you some examples and some pros and cons of those solutions which you can choose, I will go to at first I will start from the clean rooms, because this is some sort of, I would say, catchy word right now. And we all heard about clean rooms. We know there will be a lot of them. But what is a clean room? In simple words, this is the safe SQL-based environment where you could match your data with your right now, third party, in the future, second party data provider. It's a place where the privacy of the user is on the first place, and there will be no way to overestimate or overuse the data or abuse it. And today we know that will be at least 4 different clean rooms. It will be Facebook, Google, Amazon, and Axel Springer. And what does it mean for you? You need to focus where you would love to be shown at most, pick one or many of those, and start working towards it, to be able to adapt this change and use it to gain leverage on your when using your data. Next one are DSPs, and DSPs will have some sort of a universal ID. And universal ID is this kind of a ID which comes from small bits of information where there is no particular identificator for a user. For example, like a mail, made, or something like that. It will be built from information like screen resolution, some version of your operating system, etc. It allows you, when you gather enough of these bits, you can create unique distinction between each and every user. But universal IDs will have 2 main differences in between themselves. There might be probabilistic and deterministic. What's the difference between those two? When it comes to the probabilistic, in model I trust. When it comes to deterministic, in data I trust. That means when you pick the probabilistic model, it's less reliable data, but you will need less data to start running your business. But it might be faulty sometimes. When you pick deterministic way, you need to vast amount of data to import into the DSP, so you could start expanding your business and trying to reach the level of relevance when it comes to creating audience at the beginning. The next one is the digital passport. This is something simple because we are using it every day. When we log to the new eShop or somewhere else, you can create your own account or use your Google account, Facebook account, etc. to log there, and you don't need to create your own account. It's automatically created. So those digital passports are something that can be used across multiple platforms, and each of those interactions within using this passport will be simply stored and added to your profile. On the Polish market, you can see it looks like that. You can log into one service via multiple amount of different accounts. You don't need to create one. And the last one, and I think this is one of the most important things to do, is the server-side tracking, and simply how to eradicate any trouble with data transfer. Because what server-side tracking does, it bypasses the dependency on the extensions and the rules which are applied to the browser for a user. That means there will be no trace of the data transferred. It's absolutely bulletproof from our beloved AdBlock Plus and other tools like that. You will gain full control of what is sent, where it is sent, and how much data you would have to send to whom. But it comes with pros and cons. I will start from cons because I would like to leave it on the better side. So the cons, it has to be done. There is no escaping that. And I know it's time and resource consuming process. So I know how we love to avoid those kind of topics, but well, it needs to be done. There is no way to avoid it. It's hard to in-house because you will need to have the specialized set of developers on your side to do it properly, and it needs to be constantly updated because each time you add some sort of a new place where you would love to add data or transfer it, it needs to be done. It needs to be coded. It cannot be added to the GTM like today. You simply slap a code and get it running. Pros, it's cookieless proof. So I think for me it's enough, but on top of that, it's 100% control over your data. It's tailor-made, so you don't need to rely on any, off-the-shelf solutions. It can fit your needs as much as it can, and it bypasses any browser extension. So I said, goodbye AdBlock Plus. And this is all for tech stack integration, and the last thing is to simply learn. This is how we today like to make a business decision in marketing industry. Does it work? Yes, great, let's keep it. No, dump it. And it's okay, absolutely okay, because right now we are living in a world where everything is set, we know, and we have crystallized market, right? So we can make an easy assumptions, decisions on the brink to give our business a kick to go. But I would love you to go a little bit further and make it's still oversimplified graph, but please focus on the learning. It won't be an easy process when we are approaching this kind of a millennia change for our industry. So try to be open-minded and try to evaluate on each step what you're doing. Don't dump everything at the first try. Try to optimize, repair it, etc. And then you will thrive. And that's all. Thank you very much.